Well, how about that? That's exactly what you wanted, right? The Blazers go in to Indianapolis, take care of business. Got a little hairy, a little interesting there for a minute, but they still got the W. That's what matters. In the end, it doesn't matter if you win by 50 or you win by 5 or you win going away or you win holding on, as long as you win, especially on a night when a couple of the teams around you lost. And we'll get to that here in just a little bit. Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you'd like to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can hit us up on the Rip City Radio text line, 88528. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the chat there as well. This game was interesting. Played out kind of similar to what we saw in Brooklyn just a few games ago, or a few nights ago. Blazers got out to a quick lead. It was a 6-0 start. The lead starts ballooning. They grab an offensive. They grab an offensive something. As I struggle for words, no, they grab the bull by the horns. They take advantage of a Pacers team that didn't have Pascal Siakam and obviously doesn't have Tyrese Halliburton and came in with like 14 players on the injury list, and they just took it to him early. And then, as has been the way lately, then we will talk about it throughout the show, as will you. Send us your comments. They almost let it slip away late. So you got to thank your lucky stars that they got out to a big lead so that when they did hit that bump in the road, they were able to hold on. Denny Avdia did talk after the game that he did put a lot of it on him. He needs to be better. A little sloppy with the ball. Tends to be the way sometimes with Denny. But the team overall only had 13 turnovers in this game. That is a good number. Held on to the ball for the most part. Offense got going. They hit their shots. They did what they needed to do. And now they get to go to Minnesota, winners of 2 in a row, and looking to continue to improve their lot in the play-in. As Ryan says in the YouTube chat, it was a little too close. Well, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? You got the dub. That's what matters. But you are right. Joking aside, it's got a little too uncomfortable. But we're glad that they took care of business. How did it all break down? Let's tell you. It's time for the Rip City Recap.
For the Rip City Recap with Chris Burkhardt on fifth quarter, presented by Coors Light. Choose chill, Portland.
As I said, the Blazers got out to a pretty good start. It was 6-0 right off the bat. They dominated for large chunks. But at the end of the first quarter, it was only 37-33. Now, it was going to be 35-33, but with 4 seconds left on the clock, Denny Avdia grabs an inbound pass, goes coast to coast in 4 seconds, and gets the lay-in. He and DC ended the first quarter with 14 points. The thing was, both teams were shooting over 50% from the floor. Eerily similar to the last time they played the Pacers. It was 30-30 after the first quarter, and you're sitting here going, what's going on? When are the Blazers gonna flex on this team? They need to flex on this team. You want to know something that's funny for those of you out there who pay attention and keep notes on the box scores? In that game last time on March 8th, so just 10 days ago, it was 30-30 after the first quarter. Each team shot 44% or better. It was a hot offensive game. But then in the second quarter, the Blazers outscored the Pacers 39-22. Well, in this one, they outscored the Pacers 42-29. It was the exact same thing. A close first quarter and then a second quarter where they absolutely blew the doors off. It was great. It was absolutely great. Midway through the second quarter, they had a 23-15 advantage in the quarter alone, and Donovan Clingan was absolutely putting on a show. That's what he did. In the first half alone, Donovan Clingan, 21 points, 8 rebounds. Denny Avdia also had 23 points and 7 rebounds. Tom Habistro liked his stat of the night. That was the first time in the, what he call it, the play-by-play era or shot clock era. 2 Blazers players had 20 and 5 in the first half. Good basketball. Now, can you sustain it? Can you do it again in the second half? There was ups and downs, but the game all relied on that big run there in the second, because in the end, it got real close. It got real close, especially in that fourth quarter when Indiana tried to put it together. Now, if you look at my chicken scratch, if you can see it on YouTube, I took my notes, did my thing, okay? I took it at the half, and then I stopped taking notes because I was like, they're doing good. They are doing good. They are, whoo boy, oh boy. But then Indiana put it on. They decided to get it going. They decided that they were going to try to make it a game. It was an 8-0 run late that made it 120 to 117. It was a one-possession game. Drew Holiday ended up hitting a huge corner three. Ended up kind of being the nail in the coffin, because you're like, whoo, boy, we can breathe a sigh of relief. Now, you ended up not needing it because the Pacers only ended up scoring 119 points, but it was much needed for the morale of the team, because if you would have missed that and then Indiana goes down and scores, you're in a really, really rough spot. But they held on. That's what matters. You take the punches, you take them on the chin, and you hold on for the dub. Taking a look at the individual stats, Jalen Slauson had 17 points for the Pacers. Jarris Walker had 10 points and 7 boards. 18 points from Ivica Zubac. 15 from Aaron Naismith. TJ McConnell, 7 points and 10 assists. 13 points from Quentin Jackson. Jay Huff had 11 points and only 1 block. Last time he played Portland, he had 5, so that was nice to see. On the Trailblazers side of things, Jeremy Grant, 8 points. 3 rebounds. He was 3 of 11 from the floor. Toumani Camara, 17 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. 7 of 11 from the floor. So a very productive and efficient night from Toumani Camara. Donovan Clingan, a monster, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal, 2 assists, 10 of 19 from the floor, including 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. DC putting in work. Finished tonight's game with those 28 points, a career high, and 10 made field goals, also a career high. Also, Denny Avdia put in work as well. He's starting to feel like his old self. 32 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He did have the 5 turnovers, which we talked about earlier. But tonight's 32-point, 11 rebound, 5 assist performance marks Denny Avdia's 9th game of 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in 2 seasons with the Trailblazers. 3rd most in team history. The most 30, 10, and 5 games, Clyde Drexler with 28. Sidney Wicks, 22. Denny Avdia now at 9. Damian Lillard in 4th with 8. So a good historic day for your Trailblazers. Rounding out the box score, 9 points for Scoot Henderson. He was 4 of 8 from the floor. Drew Holiday, 15 points, 8 assists, and 8 points from Chris Murray. 6 points from Matisse Thybulle. 2 points apiece from Robert Williams and Sidy Cissoko. But that's the main thing. The main thing is just they held on to get the W. Sometimes they're going to look ugly. We know that. Sometimes the losses they take look ugly. But at the end, it's the L versus the dub. And the dub is what matters, especially when you look at the standings tonight, because some things have been shaken up just a little bit. The Warriors struggled tonight. They lost. The Clippers lost to the Pelicans. That means Portland now in 9th in the Western Conference and just a game back of the Clippers for the 8th spot. Things are continuing to look good here for Portland. Now, the rest of this road trip, you still got Minnesota coming up. We all know that's going to be tough. Even without Anthony Edwards, they're still a good team. They got great players. There's a reason they're a top 6 team and are building something over there. It's sustainable. It's been continuing to be tough for some time now. Like, they're going to not get any worse. They're going to be in this conversation, only be getting better. But when you lose Anthony Edwards, that's a big blow to any team. So can the Blazers take advantage of that? Then they wrap up this road trip at Denver. Then they come home. They have the Nets again, a Nets team that is absolutely struggling, and a Milwaukee team that may or may not have Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if you're the Blazers, you look at this, there's still wins to be had. And those still got 2 games against the Clippers, which might end up being 2 of the best games of the year if you are in a situation where you are tied or still within 1 game of them, or maybe even ahead. And those games loom large in the standings conversation. Because at this point, Portland's pretty much locked in to the play-in. Even though mathematically Memphis, New Orleans, Dallas, and Utah are not eliminated. But Portland's not going anywhere. But we still get to watch the standings to see where they finish, because there's a big difference between being 8th and 9th or 10th. That's what you want to be if you're the Blazers. All right, this is the fifth quarter. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also send us your thoughts and comments to the show. Rip City Radio on YouTube. Hit us up on the text line 88528 or dial the phone number 503-248-0620 is that number. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to hit you with our drive of the night. I still got a scoreboard report to look at. We're going to hear from head coach Thiago Splitter, hand out a game ball, and of course, hopefully he remembers. Boss man Brendan Slaughter is going to connect with him here in a second. But Chad Dewing will be joining us here in just a moment on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. in to the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you, breaking down this Trailblazers victory over the Indiana Pacers, 127-119 on a night when Donovan Clingan absolutely went off. 28 points, a career high, 13 rebounds, a couple block shots. Needless to say, a good game for Donovan Clingan. When you go out there and you have a career high, you're definitely going to earn our drive of the night.
Check out their inventory now at VancouverToyota.com.
Here's the lob to Clingan underneath, slips through, left hand, got it. That's a new career high for Donovan Clingan, 25 points, and he's done it in 17 minutes.
The fifth quarter drive of the night is presented by McCord's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at VancouverToyota.com. We welcome in the boss man, Chad Doing now. And Chad, boy, howdy, Donovan Clingan has been something else lately, hasn't he?
It really has. I mean, Denny Avdi is a team MVP, but close behind him is Donovan Clingan. His just the improvement in all categories in year number 2, Burkhardt, has been awesome. His increased conditioning, he's in better shape, and so he's able to play larger minutes this year. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in basketball, if not the best. He's showing a better ability to catch the ball and roll towards the basket, or just roll in screen situations. His smarts, the way he's finishing, his three-point shooting improvement, like he's doing everything. But most importantly, he's embraced the role of being an enforcer for this team, which is something they desired, and he's doing that. I just have nothing but great things to say about Donovan Clingan. He's the ultimate. What makes him so great is that he is the ultimate team guy. So when he says he just wants to win, it's legitimate. He'll do whatever it takes for the team to win, and I love that about him.
I loved how he got the walk-off interview in Brooklyn, and Travis makes a reference to, his time at UConn. You've won a few national championships. He goes, yeah, a few. And he just like what a flex. Yeah. What a flex.
Yeah, it is. And you know what, that winning, the culture that he came out of under Coach Hurley there, like you can coach him hard. He's used to being yelled at. He's used to winning and knows the type of work that's required to be a champion. And so I think that's the type of player, that you want, that can be a key, cornerstone in your franchise. Like the only thing you can knock on Clingan about is that he's not great in space or covering in space because of his size. But outside of that, he'll do anything and everything for you, and he knows how to win. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of doing anything and everything, Denny Avdia brushed it off in the post-game interview with Travis. Says he's not quite back to his former self, but he did look a lot like it tonight.
I thought he moved really well. We're seeing the physicality in his game, a little more explosion. So, he probably won't be 100% until after he gets a chance to recoup after the season. But at least he's got his burst back, and he's able to play the game the way he wants, because he's not going to change the way he plays because of his body. He's going to go full bore ahead. But I thought tonight he's getting more comfortable now that he's back in the lineup. But the decision-making, the aggressiveness, and attacking off the bounce and setting up his teammates, he just – what he always does. He scores, he sprinkles the stat sheet. He just does a little bit of everything, and he was paramount along with Donovan Clingan in the win.
Now, those are two standouts. That's the good. The bad is this thing got down to a one-possession game late in that fourth quarter, in a game that the Blazers had dominated for 3.5 quarters. And that's almost what happened in Brooklyn. So what are you seeing from this team, and what did they have to do to put these first half performances together for all 4 quarters?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to take to get a 4-quarter performance from this group. I thought they got pretty lazy or a little relaxed in their offensive execution late in the game, started settling for too many outside shots, and then they went cold from the field. And when that happens, you're going to create a lot of easier buckets for your opponents. So that happened tonight. But I just thought the execution, the energy, not as crisp as what we saw earlier in the game. And I think because they were playing the Pacers and they got up big and they thought they were in control, they relaxed and took their foot off the gas. And it goes back to what you and I talked about before the game. The little things, they can't afford to take their foot off the gas, or they can allow a team to get back in the game. And we've seen it now in back-to-back games. If you have a moment like that against Denver or Minnesota on the road, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, and they do take on Minnesota next, who will be without Anthony Edwards. They have Milwaukee coming up in a few games, who may or may not have Giannis Antetokounmpo, because there's some drama there. But you look at the results tonight, Chad, and this game, it's absolute paramount that they held on, because with what happened to the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, the Blazers ended the night in a much better spot than they started it.
Yeah, they're now a half game up on the Warriors. They're in 9th. Warriors are in 10th. And now with the Clippers lost to the Pelicans, they're a half game behind the Clippers. They got 2 more games to play against LA. So everything that the Blazers could possibly want, the best case scenario to get into the 7-8 playing game, is right in front of them if they continue to play better and handle their business. So it couldn't have, the night could not have gone any better for Trailblazer fans than the way it went tonight.
Now, the last question for you, Chad, is have you filled out your bracket yet? Games start tomorrow.
No, I'm not filling out my bracket until tomorrow night. Or no, what is tonight? Wednesday?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, tonight. I'm
There
going to
you
fill
go.
it out tonight before I go to bed, because tomorrow's Thursday, and I'll get it filled out. I'm anticipating a lot of upsets, so I think this is going to be I think this year people are going to get their brackets fried early. That's my prediction.
Well, I'm hoping while I'm in attendance tomorrow, my Rainbow Warriors get an upset over Arkansas, because that'd be a great way to start the tourney for me.
Oh, dude, if you could take it, if your crew could take out Calipari in Portland, that would be an all-timer, man.
Yeah.
Go Warriors. That'd be awesome.
I know. I'm taking advantage. Got some tickets, because not very often you get to see Hawaii come to town. So we're gonna go have some fun. So, do you know who you think's gonna win it though? You haven't filled out the bracket. Do you have a favorite though?
Yeah, I mean, I would lean Duke or Florida, just
Okay.
on first glance. But so I would say it's going to be one of the chalk teams that wins it all. But I think there's going to be a lot of upsets along the way. But I've seen Duke and Florida; they both look like strong. And UConn looks pretty like a team that could challenge as well.
This reminds me, before I let you go, once upon a time, back when I was with NBC, I'm in the visiting locker room, and the Wizards are in town, right? And it's this time of year. It's March, and Florida's playing. And we go to start doing our interviews, and this is when John Wall and Bradley Beal were still young, and just they were the face of that franchise. And Bradley Beal goes, "Hey, can we do the interviews after the game? Because there was like 2 minutes left in the Florida game." And we're like, "Yeah, not a problem." And so him and John Wall go, "Everybody take a seat," and they grabbed chairs for all the reporters, and we sat there and watched the end of the game with them. It was the coolest thing ever.
Dude, that's so great, man. And, I love seeing the guys. And once they become pros, I love the camaraderie they have with their schools and the connection they have to their programs and how they continue to cheer them on. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, Chad. Thanks as always. We'll talk to you on the next one.
You're the man.
All right. There is Trailblazer studio host, the boss man here at iHeart, Chad Doing, breaking it down as well. Always happy to join us. He said he's leaning Duke or Florida. I have Florida winning it. I also don't pay attention to college basketball that much. When your mind is always focused on the Blazers and you are watching the NBA like crazy, you don't got a lot of time for the college bracket. But I'm excited because you guys listen to the show. You know me. I have 2 favorite teams. I grew up here. I'm a Duck. That's where I went to school. It's my number one everything. I'm allowed to have 2 favorites, though, because you also know my family came over from Hawaii. It's where my grandparents were born and raised, so I love the Rainbow Warriors as well. And a rare chance to see them play some hoops, because they are going to be in Portland tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm going to have some fun. Ryan has Arizona winning it. Not a bad choice at all. Not a bad choice at all. I like them as well. I think Duke's good. I mean, it's easy to lean to the number 1 seeds, but Arizona's really good. Florida, there's something about them I like. But I picked them, which also means that they're probably not going to win. Speaking of winning and losing, who won tonight? Who lost tonight? Let's find out. It's time for a scoreboard report.
This NBA Scoreboard Report is brought to you by McCord's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com.
All right, let's take a look around the NBA to see what happened tonight. There are some interesting scores, needless to say. How about the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder were up 60-24 at halftime over the Brooklyn Nets en route to a 121-92 victory in Barclays Center. Right now, with 1 minute and 46 seconds left in the game, Memphis has a 121-112 lead over the Nuggets with 12 minutes left in the third, meaning, second half about to start. The Rockets trail the Lakers 67-55. Those are the only two games that have yet to wrap up. Final scores around the league. The Raptors 139, the Bulls 109. Utah 111, the Timberwolves 147. So before you get completely excited that Anthony Edwards is, a little dinged up, Timberwolves still a darn good team. Atlanta 135, the Mavericks 120. And then in two games that definitely impact the Trailblazers, the Pelicans storm back to beat the Clippers 124-109. Trey Murphy, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. And in Boston, the Warriors get blasted by the Celtics 120-99. Jaylen Brown had 32 points and 6 rebounds for the Clippers. So then you take a look at the updated standings right now. The 4 teams in the play-in are the Suns, the Clippers, the Blazers, and the Warriors in that order. The Suns 15.5 games back overall, meaning they also have a 5.5 game lead over the Blazers. Now, the Clippers, Blazers, Warriors are all separated by 1 game. Clippers in 8th have a half game lead over the Blazers. The Blazers have a half game lead over the Warriors, who are in 10th. So getting into that 8th spot, very, very much within reach. Getting up to Phoenix in the 7. Possible, not plausible. But 8 is where we're watching, especially with 2 games left against the Clippers coming up on the schedule. The NBA Scoreboard Report is sponsored by McCourt's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com. We're going to take a break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, we're going to hear from head coach Tiago Splitter. We're going to hand out a game ball, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. There's still hours left in the night, especially if you're a night owl like me. Some of us, it's approaching bedtime. I'm not some of us. We'll take a break, though. We'll come back. We'll have some fun. This is the 5th quarter on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Copy. Yep. And then you can just go straight into Tiago sound. So when I toss to the intro, just go intro, and then don't come back to me to start playing the audio. No. Always give out a game ball, but sometimes you gotta be sarcastic. I've given it to the other team before. Nope. Game ball goes to us for dealing with that game. Like, you gotta, have some fun. YouTube, that's right. You always gotta hand out a game ball. Always. Never. If it's a bad game, you gotta give it to us for dealing with it. Right? He said Chad didn't hand one out after a bad game. Nope, always hand one out. Welcome back into the fifth quarter where we're having a laugh during the break there. YouTube heard it because the mic was on, and that is fair. I like to talk to them during the breaks now and then. But I was laughing with Brendan because he said that Chad refused to hand out a game ball the other day after that bad game in Philly. I said, no, you always hand out a game ball. Sometimes you hand it to the other team. Sometimes you just got to give it to us for dealing with the game. Sometimes, game balls going out to 2 game balls going to Patrick and Ryan in the YouTube chat for being here. You always hand out the game balls. You got to have fun with it, though. Like, game ball of the day goes to Link because The Legend of Zelda is awesome, and I want to ignore what happened in that basketball game. Not in this one, though, because I don't want to ignore what happened tonight because the Blazers took care of business. Back-to-back dubs, 127-119 victory over the Pacers. In a game that they definitely needed. It got a little hairy, got a little tight. Got a little scary. We got a little worried. But they handled it. They weathered the storm, and they got through the game. That's what you want. Sometimes games can be ugly. Sometimes games can be beautiful. At the end of the day, did you win or lose? You won. And that is what matters. What did head coach Thiago Splitter have to say about it? Let's find out. It's time to head to the Coach's Corner.
Thiago Splitter on Fifth Quarter, presented by Coors Light. Choose chill, Portland.
3-4 turnovers, bad shots, and they just ran at us and hit trees. Those are the things that, talk about this with them. 48 minutes, you got to keep focused, the energy. You can't just relax. The NBA is too many good players to relax, and then, you make it interesting at the end. Cannot happen.
You and I talked before the game about the importance of a fast start. You guys definitely got off to that tonight. Were you pleased with that, at least?
Yeah, I think we play together. We share the ball. We move side to side. Even though we make mistakes on defense in that first quarter. And throughout the game, I think, like the second, third quarter, our defense was way better. We did the things that we talk about it. I think the big key of this game was the way we rebound the ball with DC and Rob and all of the guys crashing and dominating the rebound in the game. So that was the big key. And also DC had a tremendous game.
Yeah, how would you describe what we saw from DC, especially in that first half?
Well, great. I think we teaching him and talking to him. We got to roll, be strong with the ball, and we just start to see that he's getting more comfortable in the short roll and those finishes around the rim, rebounding and finishing. We can see the development. Of course, made 3 threes and rebound the ball extremely well. So good for him. Good night for DC.
You talked about how big they're on the north side 11 for Danny. Also, it seemed like this was one of the better games he's had since he's come back from the back injury.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, even Rob got 10. It's just something that we've been preaching and talking a lot, that we got to finish those defenses with the rebound. and then offensively gives us more possessions by crashing and being smart with our crashes. Where are we crashing from? Who? Where the ball usually goes. So we gotta play those numbers and keep making money out of it.
CD has seen his playing time decrease a little bit over the last few games. You have 10 minutes today. Is it like just rotation, or is there something behind?
No, I think we have more guys available, right? He's been playing a lot for us this season when the guys were out. But, of course, it's hard to find minutes for everyone when you have everybody available. So I think he's doing a good job. It's nothing against him or he's not playing well. It's just because we have more guys available with, more vets, more experience. And so just part of the deal.
What does he do well for you?
Bring the energy, guards, rebound, take offense fouls, fight screens, run the floor. He's being more comfortable handling the ball, shooting the ball.
And there you hear from head coach Thiago Splitter. Obviously still, happy you won, but need the team to just be a little bit better handling the basketball and not making those mistakes. But over the last 2 games, you took care of business against 2 teams that on paper you should have beat. And you did. The win is a win. The win is nice. And now you get a little bit of a tougher game hitting Minnesota and Denver. And the stretch run here is, again, you look to lock in your spot in the play-in. Now, you win the game. We've thrown a lot of numbers at you. There's lots of good stuff. But only one person gets the game ball. And even though I joked about always handing it out no matter what, sometimes you give it to Ryan in the chat because he laughed, so he gets 2 shout-outs. Sometimes you give it to our texters. I'm not going to send out anyone's phone number. Don't you worry. Sometimes you just selfishly give it to yourself because you think you did a good job. Like today's game ball goes to me because I hosted the show with a sore throat, go me. But I'm not like that. The ego is not huge. I got to give it to someone. And let me tell you what, there is only one person that deserves it. Who gets it? Let's find out. It's time for a game ball.
Who is the MVP tonight for the Trailblazers? It's time for Game Balls on 5th Quarter, live from the Coors Light Studios. Coors Light, choose chill.
How about the game ball goes to the guy that had a career high 28 points to go along with 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocked shots. He was 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, 10 of 19 from the field, 10 field goals, also being a career high in made field goals. It's the big man, Kling Kong, Donovan Clingan. One hell of a game. And I talked about it with Chad. He's been playing so well lately. Absolutely been getting better and better and better. Really, really solidified himself as a true starter in this league. Like, he's not just there because the team lacks talent or doesn't have depth at that position. No, he has earned that spot. It's part of the reason they traded or waived DeAndre Ayton. They knew that he could do it. And I think what's interesting, too, is last year it was all about the cardio and can he play and can he no, he can't play more than 12 minutes, can't play more than 50. That's not the case tonight. Heck of a game from DC. He gets the game ball. All right, you guys, I powered through. What you don't see, because, we're a radio show. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you do see me. But if you're on radio, all you do is hear me. And sometimes you're like, what's that rasp? Is that my speakers? Do I need new speakers as I'm driving? No, that's Burkhardt. Because look, the sore throat medicine, the bag of cop drops that is half empty now, the Dayquil and NyQuil because my voice is just hoarse as heck. But I powered through. Sometimes like these players, the back's a little tight. We're gonna power through though. We got a playoff race to get into. But when you get through the game, then you got to take a rest. So I think it's time for me to rest these vocal cords. In other words, that's going to do it for the 5th quarter tonight. The Blazers take care of business. They grab a 127-119 victory over the Indiana Pacers. Their 2nd in a row. Victor, you as well. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you. Do you even know who I am? Yeah. Aren't you one of the little rascals? Yes. Come here for Blazer talk. Stay for deep cut Simpsons references. But the Blazers take care of business. They'll be back in action on Friday as they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. 4th game of this 5-game road trip. Tip-off tip-off is at 5 o'clock, meaning Blazers game day will start at 3. I will unfortunately be out again. One more championship run that I have to go to, Dance and Drill Championships down in Salem for the OSAA. So if you're down there at the pavilion, come say hi. But the man pushing the buttons for me today, Brendan Slaughter, will be filling in. So make sure you're there with him, hitting up the text line, hitting up the YouTube chat, and having a good old time. And as I always say, hopefully Brendan gets to the 5th quarter and they're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Once again, Blazers go to Indiana, grab their 2nd win in a row, and end the night 9th in the standings. Things are looking up as we hit the stretch run here in Rip City. Brendan will have game day for you at 3 o'clock on Friday. Until I'm back in the chair, I'll talk to you when I talk to you.